So Bali's technically open, but should you come here in 2022? That is the real question. Let's dive into it. So, as of a few weeks ago, travelers can now fly directly to Bali, Indonesia. Before that, what travelers had to do, what I had to do, is you first had to fly to Jakarta, do a quarantine stay there, and then fly to Bali after that. You no longer have to do that. That's a swing overlooking Tagalang. At one point, there would have been a line 20 people long, probably waiting to take that swing from this restaurant that I'm at right now that is absolutely empty and is shut down. I mean, this is not the Bali that you knew before the pandemic, that's for sure. I mean, it's still completely beautiful and amazing. There's just no people. And by no people, I just mean foreigners. And there's still some, there's certain types of foreigners, but there's not nearly as many as there were before the pandemic, that's for sure. I mean, look at this house on the side of the cliff. It's so beautiful and elegant, and it's a long ways down to that river. And just like here, this is like the family's temple, and they live there, and it's like just beautiful. Like, I love Bali. I love so much about being in Bali, so much about being here. I will try the bakso kesil.
Chicken bowl.
Chicken bowl, yeah. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. One, thank you.
One, yeah.
Yeah. That's the stuff. I obviously chose to still come to Bali, but there are a lot of valid reasons why people are not coming right now. For one thing, there's a lot of countries out there like Mexico, Costa Rica, and Turkey, for instance, where you don't need a COVID test to go to those countries. So it's a lot easier for tourists to go there, for you to potentially go there, than it is to come to Bali, because to get to Bali right now, you do have to take a COVID test, and then even if it's negative, you still have to quarantine in a hotel. And then on top of that, if you're reading the fine print of what it takes to get into Indonesia, you'll see that if you do test positive when you're in Bali, then it says that you are gonna have to either quarantine in a hospital or in a government hotel. But fortunately, this isn't getting followed too strictly right now. I have a friend who's a digital nomad here, has a house, just got COVID, and the government's not making her quarantine in a government hotel. So that's pretty nice. They're not following it super strictly right now, but I mean, if you are here as a short-term traveler and you're staying in a hotel, they might put you in a government hotel. And then on top of that, all the quarantine hotels are pretty expensive. They're like way more expensive than any hotel that I have ever stayed in Bali, and most of you have probably ever stayed in Bali. They're not like absolutely ridiculous compared to Western prices, but yeah, it still just doesn't make any sense. They're like really, really expensive. So that's a huge deterrent. The people that are coming to Bali right now are digital nomads that are maybe spending between $1,000 and $2,000, maybe $3,000 a month on their time in Bali, and they're not really interested in spending $500 on a 3-night or a 2-night stay in a really, really nice hotel. That's just not really the market of the people that are trying to come to Bali right now, at least in my opinion. Another reason to not come to Bali right now is because there is no party scene. So if you like to come to Bali for the normal party scene that there is, the beach bars and the nightlife and stuff like that, there's a little bit of nightlife. Like, there's still beach bars open and stuff like that. But the nightlife is nothing like it was before the pandemic. But honestly, right now is a perfect time to come to Bali for just about everyone else, even if you are a budget backpacker. I know the Indonesian government made some remarks a couple months ago about not wanting backpackers in Bali anymore, and that's really unfortunate they did that. I really don't like that they said that, because I am a backpacker at heart. Being a backpacker is the first way that I discovered Indonesia, and it's probably the first way a lot of people have discovered Indonesia, so it really sucks that they made these comments and they are somewhat trying to push out backpackers. But let me tell you what, even if you are a backpacker, right now is still a good time to come to Bali. You are gonna have to pay a lot more than is ideal for 2 to 5 nights in a government quarantine hotel, depending on if you're vaccinated or not. But once you get here, everything is a lot less expensive here right now than it normally is, because, you know, you're seeing inflation in the rest of the world. You know, prices are going up. Here in Bali, prices are going down because so much of the local economy depends on tourists, and there just aren't as many tourists right now. So right now, the reality is Bali is perfect for anyone that loves Bali. Maybe you've been here before and you just love Bali and all that Bali has to offer. Like, that is all still here. The only thing that's different about Bali right now is there are less tourists here right now. There are less tourists, there are less crowds, there's less traffic. So should you come to Bali right now? I was asking myself that same question a couple months ago before I decided to come here. I wasn't sure of the answer, but now looking back at it and looking forward at what's coming with, it's just so much easier to get here now. I say yes. I am so glad that I personally came to Bali. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's just so unique to be able to see Bali right now. Like Tagalalang Rice Terrace. There is no one here. It is just me. This is crazy. Like you're never gonna see Bali like this ever again. And honestly, I think it's really worth it to come here. So I hope that answered your question. Should you be coming to Bali right now in 2022? The answer is yes. I will see you when you get here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.